back to my channel. My name is Okoyemi Gorgeous, and as you can see from the title of this video, I'll be talking about how to relocate to the United Kingdom as a nurse from your respective countries. So I'm a Nigerian nurse and I moved to the UK some months ago. However, this video would help virtually all nurses from different countries. So regardless of the country of your registration, or the country where you live at the moment, or the country where you work, regardless of all that, this video would help you if you would want to relocate to the UK. So first of all, I need to put this out there. This video is not meant for quacks. Yes, it's not meant for quacks. Well, quacks can't even go through this process, because this process will require you to do a lot of verifications and all that. So I just need to put it out there. So if you're a quack, no, this video is not for you. Please just get out of this video at the moment. I'm sorry for being mean, but I just needed to put that out there. So for registered nurses, the process is very easy. It's simple. However, I would also try as much as possible to simplify it in this video for you. I will list out the steps, and you would also learn from my own process. So NMC, which is Nursing and Midwifery Council. So in this video, when you hear me say NMC, just know I'm referring to the Nursing and Midwifery Council of the United Kingdom. So NMC has a portal where you would do your registration. However, my own processes and all that was on the old portal, or the old, how do I say, the old process. So now they have a new process that is very easy, like very easy. You really don't have to do a lot of paperwork like I did in the old process. This is simpler. It's more of an online thing now. So however, I would this video would probably draw more on the old process, because I came through the old process and I know so much about the old process. And then I think if you're able to learn from the old process, the new process will be much more easier for you, like, because it's actually easier than the old process. It's still the same process, just that there's less paperwork in the new process. Do you understand me? Yes. So first of all, once you're like sure that okay, you're a registered nurse, of course, I tell people the first thing you need to get is an international passport. Like, before going through all the whole process, just settle that first. Get your international passport, because that would actually be required for all the processes. I think without that you can't move on to the other steps. So just ensure you get your international passport. Like, that's like the first thing. In my own situation, I've always had my international passport for a very long time. In fact, I had renewed it at some point, but that's exactly not the essence of this video. But so international passport wasn't even a problem in my own case, because the reason I'm saying this is because I know in my country, which is Nigeria, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in Nigeria, it's a lot of hassle to get your international passport. For some people it takes forever. For some it's 3 months, for some it's 6 months. So I think once you've decided that you want to, go through this process of migrating to the UK, the first thing you just need to ensure you get is your international passport. So, and the reason why I want it to be the first is because it might take a very long time. So just ensure you do that early enough, and then you get your international passport, and then you can proceed with the other processes. So once that is done, once you've gotten your international passport, then yeah, let's go straight into all the processes. So the first thing you do is the eligibility check. So the eligibility check, just as it sounds, is just to ensure that you are truly eligible to apply. So the eligibility check is more like a self check. Yeah. So they would ask you some questions like, do you have your international passport? Do you have this? Do you have that? So just to tick that, okay, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that, and then you submit. So yeah, you also, this will be done on the NMC website. So you log in and create an account. So you have a username and a password. So the eligibility check, like I said, is just to check the boxes that, oh, I have this, I have that, I've got my license, I've got this, I've got that. If it needs to be scanned, you can scan them. So once that is done, after, I can't remember the number of days it took them to reply me and say, okay, you're eligible to proceed. But it just took days. It didn't take so much time. So like they notified me that I was eligible to proceed to the next stage. Now I need to put this out there. In my own case, I wrote high health, which is an English exam, even before I started the whole process. And this is because I've always had my high health. Like, I wrote high health for some other reasons before I applied for the UK process. So I already had my high health and D. So it was a standard academic high health, which I had passed earlier and I used for another thing entirely. So it was the same thing. So during my eligibility check, I already checked that I had the high health, and so I didn't have to re-register for high health. I don't know if you understand me, because the version of the high health I took earlier was also acceptable in this situation. It was the standard academic, so that was also applicable in this situation anyways. So so the next phase for me then was just to write my CBT. So CBT is a computer-based, just like the name says, CBT. It's a computer-based test. However, it's a nursing exam, just that it's computer-based. Like, it's not a face-to-face exam, or it's not a written exam. It's computer-based. So I can't remember the number of questions again, but I know then when I wrote my CBT 2 years ago, I can remember vividly that there were a lot of things that you needed to know. Like, it was more like, okay, you could pass. Okay, I think it was about 100 questions. Yeah, I think it was about 100 questions. I'm not so sure. And I wrote 2 years ago. It's been a long time. So it was about 100 questions. And then out of the 100 questions, I don't know how it is now, but this was my experience. Out of the 100 questions, you have like 20 questions that you cannot afford to miss. Like, you can't afford to get them wrong. So you could get 80 over 100. Do you get me? So you could get 80 over 100. No, you could even get, okay, out of the 80 non-essential questions, they're still not some questions, but they're not like the essential questions. So you could get all the 80 questions, and then out of these 20 questions that you can't afford to miss, you could even get 19. Do you get me? And then you miss just one, and then that's a fail. So that strategy was really like very serious. When I read this exam, like, I was really panicking. Like, imagine me getting 85, and then of course you won't see your score, but imagine getting all the other questions right and then just missing one of the strategic questions. And then so those 20 questions were based, so the NMC has a code. That's the 6 C's: care, compassion, courage, commitment, communication. So those strategic questions kind of boils down to the 6 C's. So and the 6 C's are mainly what ensures patient safety. Like, patient safety is very key. Infection control and all those other, we all know this as nurses anyway. So so that was that for the CBT. And then so when I passed that, I just abandoned it. In my own case, because I had other things going on, so I just put that aside, and I was doing other things I had to do. I didn't follow through with the process. So until a year after I wrote my CBT, and then I picked up from where I stopped. So so once you write your CBT and then you pass, yeah, congratulations. So once you pass that, you can now proceed to the application itself. So you're going to pay for the application and assessment. So in my case, I think I paid about £140. I know about 65 or 66,000 naira was deducted from my GTB account, because of course you pay with your card. I think it was about £130 or £140. Gosh, I can't remember all these figures again. It was £140, I believe. So in naira, it was just about 66 or 65,000 naira. I don't know how much it would be in your own currency, but that was it. So once you pay for the application and assessments, then you can download all the forms that are necessary. So before I go to all the forms that you would download and print out, I would just talk about some forms. So there's some forms that you would fill. So once you pay for the application and assessment, there's like another field that opens up for you to fill. So you fill, they're just basic questions you need to fill: years of education, basic questions, your school of nursing or the university you attended, if you've written your high health. They're just basic questions, and then you'll be asked to upload some documents. So that's when you would upload your high health. That's an English exam. So the requirement for UK is 7 in, at least 7 in at least 7 in reading, speaking and listening, and at least 6.5 in writing. Gosh, I hope I'm right. Yeah, because I know it used to be 7 in all the modules, but then writing was reduced to 6.5, but other modules still remain as 7. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, please guys, once you finish listening to this, once you finish watching this video, just endeavor to also check up some things online. Like I think I have a very short memory. So once you upload your high health, yeah, you upload your high health results, that's English exam. So you just upload, like there's a number you upload, maybe the serial number or the examination, there's a particular number on your result that you would just upload. So once you put that in, you'll be required to scan and also upload your certificates, all your certificates, I mean your nursing certificate. So you would upload that, you upload your birth certificate, you would upload your international passport. I mean, you would scan and upload all those things, international passport. And then there's also a space for additional documents. So in my case, I think I uploaded my marriage certificate as an additional document. Okay, under means of identity, apart from my international passport, I also uploaded my marriage certificate. So anything you feel is applicable, but there's no column for that, you can put it under additional documents. So that was what I did for other documents. I just felt, okay, let me just add. There's no crime in adding. I just added them on the additional documents, really. So there's no crime in putting other documents that you feel would just be needed under additional documents. There's no crime for that. So once you're done with uploading all the necessary documents, and then you now download, you download some other documents, like 3 documents, really. Yeah, 3. You download these documents and then give to the respective authorities to fill and then send back to NMC directly. Those documents will not pass through you. So first of these documents is the transcript. So you go to your school of training, and then you would drop the form with your school. You would make the necessary payments. All schools have different protocols for payment. I wouldn't know. Mine was at the University College Hospital in Ibadan. And there was a certain amount I paid for that, and then so the school directly sent it to NMC. I wasn't involved. All I just needed to do was drop the required information about myself, like my name, the year I graduated, and then they just searched their own database for every other thing. They filled all the forms, and then they sent that to NMC directly, because I paid for courier and then paid for transcript and all that. So you print out the transcript form from your account, and you can't actually print out all these forms until you pay for your application and assessment, the £140 I told you earlier. So I paid for my transcript, sorted that out. School sent that directly to NMC, and then you would also print out a license verification form, and then you would send the form to your nursing and midwifery council. So like I said earlier, I'm a Nigerian nurse, so for me, I sent my form to the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. In your own country, I don't know what you call it, but I'm sure it would be like a nursing body. So whatever nursing body that like accredits nurses in your country, that's where you would send the form to. So I sent the form to the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, paid the amount I was asked. I think then it was 53,500. Yeah, I think so. So I paid about 53,500. I think now it's cheaper. It's just about 17,000 or so. The price dropped some months ago. So I paid 53. The initial time I did my transcript, I think I paid about 8,750, but that was for another thing entirely. But this time, by the time I was paying for this process, that's the UK process, I paid 53,500 or 55, I can't remember vividly, but it was over 50k, close to 60k. So so you do that, and then once you send the form, make the necessary payments, submit. They will ask you for some documents, to like your certificate of registration, your license, your birth certificate. Yeah, nursing council will ask you for some documents, and then like if you've had change of name done, like you could also attach your marriage certificate and all that. So once you do all that and pay the required amount, they also will send the document directly to NMC. Like you won't even like get involved at all. They will send the document directly. They would fill the document appropriately and send it directly to NMC. So that was what happened in my case. So they did that, and then the last form that would be needed to be sent, that you would need to send is the health declaration form. So this health declaration form is just like a document that certifies that truly you're fit to work in the UK. Like just ensure your fitness, ensure that you're fit, you're not like sick, or the kind of illness you have is not such that would prevent you from functioning optimally as a nurse. So that's what the health declaration is all about. So you print out the form as well. That's a third form you print out. So you would go to a doctor. So if you've always had a clinic you've been using, well, since this video is actually for nurses, I would just suggest that just go to the staff clinic of your hospital, like or the NHIS clinic of your hospital. I don't know the name you guys call it in your respective hospitals, but and the reason why I prefer this is because before you be employed in any hospital anyways, or any organization anyways, you would have gone through the pre-employment check. So if you've gone through the pre-employment check, it would be way easier to get the form signed and filled by the same department, maybe the staff clinic or whatever occupational health department. So just take it to the occupational health department of your hospital. It's way easier than going to another hospital and then seeing a new set of people again. No, that would be much more tedious. But if you already have a file with the occupational department of your hospital, or even the clinic you use generally when you're sick and all that, you already have a file, so you can go back to that clinic. Like the clinic, I'm sure like you would actually have a designated clinic under your HMO or your NHIS, so you can go to that particular clinic and then tell them you need to fill out your declaration form. So if the doctor feels you need to carry out some other tests, they can tell you to do some other investigations to ensure that you're fit. But if it's the hospital or the clinic where you've been using regularly, I'm sure they would have known you. Like you already have a file, they can go through your file and then from then certify that truly you're fit to work in the UK. And then so just for the doctors to fill the forms and then sign, and then you would send that directly by courier to UK. You send it yourself to NMC. The document shouldn't be scanned, it should be sent by courier. So and then when the form is being filled, you should also ensure that the doctor doesn't mistakenly tick that he has a relationship with you, like he knows you. I don't know if you get me. So no, because if he ticks that you guys have a relationship, maybe your colleagues or something like that, it could be interpreted by NMC that he just give it to a colleague to fill and sign for you, and then the form will be rejected and you have to fill another form appropriately. So just ensure that is not the case here. However, like I said, on the whole process, like I came via the whole process. The new process now doesn't require you sending all the other forms. Excuse me. I think you would actually certify that you're fit. It's like now it's like a self-declaration. You don't need another party. You don't need a second party to certify that you're fit. I think now, from what I read or what I've heard, you would be the one to just certify that, oh, I'm fit to work, I'm fit to function optimally and all that. So like I said, it's way easier now. So after sending all these documents, once all these documents get to them, you'll be put on a queue. So it's called the assessment queue. Excuse me, it's called the assessment queue, and then you'll be on the queue for 30 to 60 days. From my knowledge, you'll be on the queue for 30 to 60 days. So just kind of visualize what the queue means, like in your mind, just kind of visualize what the queue is. Just pretty much standing on the queue. So you're on a queue, and then when it gets to your turn, your file would be assessed, and then a verdict to be made. So the verdict is like an assessor or an assessment officer reviews the file, checks through all the document to say that okay, and then the person just certifies that, oh, you've met all the standards, you've met all the requirements, and then they issue a decision letter. So it takes about 30 to 60 days, but now it could be earlier and then it could be later. The issue here now is, imagine being on the queue and probably you've waited for like 60 days for instance, and then finally your file gets to the assessor, and then the assessor goes straight and then sees that you need additional document. That's the crazy part of it. Like, imagine you waited all along and then the assessor sees that, oh, there's a missing document, or the assessor might feel like, oh, a clarification needs to be done, I beg your pardon. So if he or she feels he needs to send you an inquiry, or he or she needs to clarify some things with you, they would email you, they will send you a mail and they notify you that, okay, your file has been assessed, however you should maybe produce the documents, clarify some things, and then answer an inquiry and all that. So now it depends on the inquiry. If it's something that you can actually just send a mail to clarify, but in most instances you actually need another document to back that up. So that's where the problem lies. Like, I know that is not peculiar to Nigerian nurses. Like, from my experience, I don't think Nigerian nurses usually have issues with that, but I know nurses from a particular country where, I think with license verification, so most times some of them would have even people who have verification from 2 or 3 countries, that times they could have a lot of issues. Do you get? So but once you produce the document they need, the additional document they need, or you've met all their requirements, or you're able to answer their query appropriately, and then they feel that, oh, you've been able to answer it properly, they would issue a decision letter. So even if an inquiry was sent to you, we were asked to produce a document, the moment you get the document, few hours afterwards you get a decision letter. So it's not like, oh, you were asked to get additional document and then you start all over again, like they'll put you on the queue all over again. No, it's not like that. The moment you get all the requirements, within few hours you get your decision. So the decision letter is it's just like an authorization letter, something that says, oh, this nurse has met all the requirements, this nurse has has passed all the phases, and then we feel that he or she is competent enough, certified enough to work in the UK, and then to proceed to the next phase of the exam. So for the exam, it's in 2 phases. Don't forget, I'm sure by now you would understand that you would have written the CBT, which is a computer-based exam. So now you're moving to the OSCE. Once you get a decision letter, the next phase is the OSCE, which you would have to write in the UK. So the OSCE is a practical exam. It's just an objective structured exam, so to say. So I beg your pardon. So but before you go ahead to take your OSCE, that is when you will need to sign up with an agency. Well, during this whole process, even before you get to this point, it's actually advisable that you start making inquiries, start asking questions about the best agency to use. So if you've gotten an agency after doing your investigations, there are a lot of nasty agencies, seriously. So ensure that you've made your investigations, you've asked questions. Make sure you ask questions from different people so that you can share the experiences. So once that is done, your agency will book an interview with you. So they'll give you a list of the hospitals. So it depends on you if you want to work in the NHS or the care home. But for the purpose of this video, I would probably just concentrate on NHS. So because I work in the NHS anyway. So once that is done, like you already have an agency, your agency would give you a list of the NHS under them, because each agency is like attached to some hospitals, NHS trust. So once you get the list, they will tell you the perks of all the hospitals, like the pros and cons. And then So you go through all that, you do your own research, and then you pick the hospital you want. So once you pick the hospital you want, your agency will arrange an interview. So you'll be told the date and the time of the interview. It's a Skype interview. It's not, of course, it can't be a face-to-face interview since you still be back in your country. So once you're able to pass the Skype interview, so it's basically about nursing. But if you're like a specialty nurse, if you're a nurse that has a specialty, you should also prepare for questions related to your specialty. But if you're just a general nurse, maybe you just have only hiring, or you really don't have a field like that, well, it might just be general nursing questions. But if you have a specialty, they could actually streamline into your specialty. Like in my own case, I'm a perioperative nurse, also called TFN nurse, also called operating room nurse. So in my case, my interview was, in fact, 90% of my interview was based on perioperative nursing. Seriously, I think it was just the beginning of the interview that they asked general questions, but most of the questions were related to perioperative nursing, really, because I was going to be employed as a perioperative nurse anyway. So it's best you also prepare well for the like, I know people who don't take the exam serious because they know that UK desperately needs nurses that regardless of how you behave. But I've seen people who were turned down by the agencies because they took the interview for granted and they didn't do well at the interview, thinking, oh, I mean, yes, I have all the requirements. No, still prepare for the interview like you prepare for any nursing exam. Seriously, that was what I did in my own case. Like I was preparing like I would go for, like I was going for an exam, and it turned out well. And I so much impressed the people interviewing me, like the interviewers, that oh, they were so excited. And even the pay they gave me was really good, just based on the fact that I impressed them. So just ensure that you know how to talk, know how to speak English, know how to see. That's just all they need. And then, because I feel that if you're a registered nurse, you already have what it takes upstairs to answer all their questions. But you may be a bit jittery, you may be anxious. No, just cancel that. Be bold, laugh. I mean, this was exactly the way I was communicating to the interviewers. I was not screaming, I was not anxious. When I needed to smile, I was laughing. I was smiling. Well, not really. I was smiling. I didn't look anxious, and I didn't look desperate. And of course, this was also because I had other offers. Anyways, I had like 3 interviews with 3 different NHS. Then I picked the best. So that is also a suggestion for you. Just see, have several interviews as much as you can. Seriously, I would just advise that. Then you can just pick the best out of all the options you have. That's a plus. So once I had my decision letter, it was time for my agency to process my COS. So the COS is a certificate of sponsorship. This is usually issued by the hospital. So my agency just needed to liaise with the hospital, and then there was a lot of back and forth, like discussions going on. And I think I got my COS in how many days? Probably 10 days. Let me see. Just give me a second. I really want to, so that I can put out the accurate figure here. Yeah, it was 10 days. So I got my COS in 10 days. And then because it was a festivity period, like Christmas and all that, so I wasn't even ready to travel. And then you know, during Christmas period, so there will be days off in between. So even my agency, like my consult, so your agency will assign you to a consultant that will be interacting with you. So even my consultant, there were days that he had to go for public holiday and all that. And then I also needed to enjoy my Christmas. So there were, even though my COS was ready, we really didn't talk until maybe 28th of December. That was when we started talking again, when both of us we had enjoyed the festivity in peace. But after the communication, like after we resumed back communicating with each other, the rushing, because my COS was ready, I needed to travel, I needed to apply for the visa. So at that point, I was so exhausted already because I had so many appointments to keep up with. Oh, I forgot to mention, you'd also have to do a TB test, a tuberculosis test, and then you do, oh gosh, I didn't mention that you have to do the police check too. So you do the police check. Each country has their own protocol for that, but in my own country, just the state where you reside, you can go to the police station. there's a particular police station in every state that is meant to like do the police check. I don't know if you understand me. Not all police stations, but in each state or in each town or in each city, there's usually one or two. Usually it's more than one, maybe one or two police stations where you can actually do the crime, because it's like a criminal check, just to ensure that, oh, you've not been involved in any crime before, if you've been prosecuted in the past and all that. So you'd have to do. I did mine twice because I used the first one for my application and assessment, and then it expires within 3 months. 3 months, yeah. So by the time I was applying for my visa, I needed to do another one because usually it can't last longer than 3 months. So just be prepared to do as many police checks as you can, but usually you shouldn't do more than 2 anyways. So so I got to the point of a visa application. I applied for my visa, and then I went for my visa appointment. Once I applied for your visa, you would book an appointment with TLS. Mine was in Lagos, so it was TLS. And then I went. You could also upload the document online. That's self-service. I didn't do that. I did assisted service, meaning that I went with my documents. All my documents were scanned there. Of course, I had to pay, I think, another 11,000 naira for that. So you can save yourself of that money and just upload the document yourself, scan and upload yourself. At least you won't have to drop another 11,000 naira for them. So, and then the rule of just uploading by yourself, just to ensure that documents are in A4. Really, once you abide by that, your documents will be accepted. So, but I did assisted service. I went, so it was at the embassy, UK embassy, that I scanned my document. They did that for me anyway. So I went with my TB test result, which is like an X-ray. It's just X-ray. The center where you do that is in Lagos. They have a branch in Lagos and in Abuja for Nigerian nurses. Other countries I really don't know, but you could just go on Google, type IOM, International Organization for Migration, I think, IOM. So that's the center where you would have the test done. It's just basically chest X-ray anyways, but it's standardized. So so I went to the embassy with my TB test, my eye health, my police check, my decision letter, my COS, which is the certificate of sponsorship, marriage certificate, birth certificate. So just go with all the certificates necessary. My nursing certificate, just go with all the documents you have. Then let them pick the ones they want or the ones they feel is necessary for your application. It's better to go with much more documents than not going with the whole and then you'll be stranded. And then my visa was priority visa. So there's a priority, no, there's a super priority, there's a priority, and then the standard. Super priority takes just 24 hours. You get your reply or response in just 24 hours. Super priority, that's super priority. For priority, you will get your response within 3 to 5 days. Mine was priority. I got my response in 5 days. So I got my visa in 5 days. For the standard, it takes 2 weeks. I think, yeah, 2 weeks. For some it could be less, some it could be 10 days, but the average is just 2 weeks. So once you get your visa, now you're ready to come to the UK. So once you get your visa, your agency will book your flight. Yeah, you book your flight, and then that's all. You find yourself in the UK, and then you start working. So once you start working, you start preparing for your OSCE exam. Don't forget I mentioned that the UK exam is in 2 phases: the CBT, which is a computer based that you would write back in your home country, and the OSCE that would be written in the UK. So I hope I've been able to, simplify this process as much as I can. However, like I said earlier, there's a new process now, and then the new process doesn't require so much paperwork. So for instance, where I had to send my transcripts, or where my school had to send my transcripts, in the new process, they would just contact your school, probably via email, online contact. I wouldn't know how they do that, but they'll contact, I think it's via email. They'll just contact your school and then tell your school to verify that truly you graduated from that school, blah 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 blah. And then once the school replies them, automatically that is settled. They also contact your licensing body or your nursing body or your nursing registration body in your country. They would contact them and ask them, is this person licensed, person verified, blah 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 blah. once your nursing body replies them, that is also settled. And then once that is settled, so it's basically, the new process is easier. Like I said, it's basically just online, but of course there's still like some primary fundamentals or primaries that you have to ensure you have. Like I said, the high health, your international passports, what other thing, the basics. But every other thing is just online. You don't have to send paper documents. So I hope I've been able to answer all your questions, clarify all your doubts. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments down below. I would ensure I answer almost all questions, but if I can't, please just go to the NMCUK's website. All your questions will be, I'm sure you would see all the answered questions under facts, frequently asked questions. So you should get answers to your questions there. But if not, don't hesitate to actually ask me. I would try my best to answer all your questions. So I'll make another video about Husky, which is the second phase of the exam that you would have to take here in the UK for you to become a UK registered nurse. I would do that later, not now. That will be another video because this video is so long. Adding Husky issues to this video and I will make it longer than necessary, so I'll just cut this now and then I would make another video for Husky. Thank you so much for watching. Oh gosh, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to refer my channel to your friends and families. Tell a friend to tell a friend and a friend and a friend and a friend. Please like all my videos, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you later. Bye bye.